Man, Rain, you a fool for this. You know I had to go get the steppers, right?
We talking God shit. Who you with when life is limitless? You built the script simultaneously while you lift the gift. Trust and only I can get us out this hill.
What's that you talk?
You know we only talking God. We talking God shit. Who you with when life is limitless? You built the script simultaneously while you lift the gift. Trust and only I can get us out this hill.
What's that you talk?
You know we only talking God. In the beginning that was light, so I was let's be friends. But at the end of the night, it was by my ends. I'm on the ground with my grind. You can't deny that I'm great. The only thing you can do is up the level on hate. Trump supporters wanna clean our plates. The sky's a debate. Kill and delay, we on the slate team. And we ain't talking about holidays. Not for gunplay, but money making their way. But if you wanna take it thorough, we can make it rattle. We prepare the cattle, and we are best at battle. They said I was gossip when you brought me in this, but it's my everyday struggle that got me this. It was my mama on welfare, my daddy on crack rock. The grind don't stop. I was raised by hip hop. This one for the culture, black excellent hood nurture. We was raised with virtue. It's our time. We talking God shit. Who you with when life is limitless? You built the script simultaneously while you lift the gift. Trust and only I can get us out this hill.
What's that you talk?
You know we only talking God.
Track the side of lines then, put the paper to pen. We form Voltron, legal women and men. Destroying competition with a devilish grin. Set the pace in the race, cause we winning again. We the best, Midwest, house blessings bestow. Dominate the interstate, so these suckers will know. You can't penetrate or integrate, the dungeon is closed. Okay, we liquidate, now you're living exposed. Technique, when we speak, rap rugged and raw. Transparent and translucent, going bar for bar. Rap right like two wheels on the back of a car. Lock tight like vice grips on the lid of a jar. We haven't sent, pay the rent, courtesy of the team. It's inevitable, how we severing dreams. It's commendable, how we stepped on the scene. We separating God shit from your devilish schemes.
We talking God shit. Who you with when life is limitless? You built the script simultaneously while you lift the gift. Trust and only I can get us out this hill.
What's that you talk?
You know we only talking God. We talking God shit. Who you with when life is limitless? You built the script simultaneously while you lift the gift. Trust and only I can get us out this hill.
What's that you talk?
You know we only talking God shit.
Yeah, God shit. Great orderly direction. Showing you how intelligence triumphs. God shit.
What up? What up? What the fuck is up? Y'all heard we Tweet the Don. I normally don't do my podcast on Saturday, but you know, I can do what I want. So let me handle something real quick, then I'll be back so I can tell y'all what I'm about to get on. Okay. Pardon me. Shout out to Lil Swag. I see you on here, man. So basically, man, I know a lot of people, or I don't know what most people do for real no more, except get on social media and do what they do. It's 12:30. You know, it's a normal day at the crib for me. Chilling. Smoking on some good that is legal here and New York. You know what I'm saying? St. Louis and New York. Taking me a sip here and there. But before I got on this podcast, I was just looking up some information because, you know, to know where you're going, you gotta know the past. And I'm talking about the past of how this country became what it is today. Because, you know, we get so wrapped up in things, especially during Trump era. You know, polarization is just, you know, it defies all it defies all logic when it comes to certain people. I've been there where polarization is just about how I feel, just about what I want or what I can see, and what I believe is right, and what I believe is wrong, when you don't really know why you're thinking like that. You know, you just blobbing out things that you see that are put into your mind. This time in our life right now, while people are always, you know, talking about AI this, you are AI now. And you can just tell by how you explain things, or you explaining things from your own inner conclusion of logical evidence, or are you just following talking points of whoever makes you feel good, accepted, superior, not bad. What, you know, so what I'm doing today on No Terms Coalition, because you can't accept crumbs. At this point, I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. I'm not none of them, because all of them dropping the ball right now. And I'm not looking at them like how a lot of our people who look like me are thinking about it. Now, I'm not with them or y'all on it either. You know, it's more, somebody have more to do with what's going on in today's climate than others. And some people are blaming the wrong entities because you're only going off of your own feelings, which some people use that. If they know you're hungry, they're gonna try to sell you something. You know, we are, right now when it comes to Americans, we'll believe anything that's on the internet, as long as it makes you feel like you're right. As long as it gives you some type of power. They're substituting facts, morality, for you to think you're getting power by getting feelings. Just like people used to talk about don't give them a trophy if they don't earn it. You don't deserve power if you don't have compassion for American citizens. But people, you know, whatever side you're on, that's what it is. So what I'm doing today is I'm going over, tonight isn't about parties, it's about power. This is all it's about. How this country got it, how the country got power, who shaped it, who fought over it, and what happens when power stops being balanced. I'm in the time of where I'm thinking people don't care if power balance. And that's a problem. I'm not going to argue with you. 1776, declaring power into existence. And I'm going to do you even more of a treat and throw in the 48 laws of power so you can see what were the main things that worked when it came to declaring independence, which is declaring power over as a country. Law 28, interaction with boldness, which was done. Law 27, play on people's needs to believe. You can see that. Law 15, crush your enemies totally. When it came to the Revolutionary War. The colonies didn't negotiate their way into freedom. They declared separation. Boldly, decisively, America was born from force, narrative, and time. You get what I'm saying? So, it's easy to initiate It's easy to think it, but you make those moves, now you have to, what? Put it in action. So the second part of that is the Constitution structuring power. The Constitution structuring power. This is what is so important, or not in these days, but if you want to follow the Constitution, which a lot of people don't, you know, that's what it's seeming like. They want to pick and choose what they want to follow. So it's like, it's a doctrine that's been sitting and standing, and that people bled over for us to see it and see it out as a country together. So that's why I want to go back, and this makes sense for even when people say this was back in where they had slaves, where slaves were not considered people. Okay, that's a big difference. Remember that part, but that's where a lot of people will start understanding why you got the ghost of these types of people. So, all right, laws in motion. Control the option. Concentrate your forces. Assume form. That's Law 31, 23, and 48. Check and balance. Check and balances weren't trust, okay? They were insurance against future abuse. That's what the legislative, executive, and judicial were for, to put power in check. Not one of these supposed to be, they work together for the good of the people, but they're also working to stop over abuse of any part of the government. Roger that. All right. Next part is Jackson. So after we get all reconstructed, you know, it's all other presidents in between and trying to get us together, salute us as a country, trying to get here, trying to get us more territory and take credit to the territory we have. And we go into where we run into one of the presidents who started to pressure his idealism onto the government and overreach state rights to press his own agenda. Jackson, the president of executive force. You hear me? Executive force. We wasn't here to have kings. That was mainly what our forefathers were born against. Somebody who wanted to be a king. Okay? So, 48 laws in motion. Crush your enemy totally. Law 15. Law 42. Right to shepherd. Law 1. Never outshine the master. During Jackson influence, he had a bank war, had trail of tears, and a nullification crisis. You don't know, he shut down the bank, federal bank. He sent Indians up out of here after they won. Legally in court, he said, hey, they made their choice, let them execute it. We got them up out of there. Still. And they won the case. That's treason. That should be, but anyway, you on $50 bill. The nullification crisis where, you know, they were trying to not, I forgot what state it was, but they were trying not to pay taxes. And Jackson was like, you're gonna pay taxes. If you don't, I'm gonna send people there to hang you and kill you. And of course, they went on here and, you know, they paid those taxes. All right. So Jackson is really the start of executive power in that notion. Okay? Now, the Civil War, power system collapsed. Because, listen, the 48 laws in motion on this one is Law 35, master the act of timing. Law 33, discover each man's thumb screw. Law 15, crush your enemy totally. So this is what the Civil War was about. Slavery equals economic power. Okay? North versus South equals competing national features. The war was power reckoning decades in the making. The war was a power reckoning decades in the making. So the Civil War wasn't over the morality of, slavery. It wasn't, they didn't go to this war because they felt like black people were weak. This war was about power. What type of nation are we going to go forward as? A nation of people who are okay with slavery as their economic source of income? Or we're going to be like the South and be more industrial? Okay? And this comes with, that's why I understand when some people are justifying, I ain't saying I'm with them, but I understand there's logical thinking because back then, look what they were bred to. It was economic, not moral. Slavery was about economic and power, not moral. So, you know how many people that they had that was just like, no. Fuck them. They don't care about the feelings. Why they doing all that? You know how many of these people were molesting black children because they were property? So they didn't get, nothing happened to them, you know? People don't think about that part. But these are the same minds and thoughts when somebody say, oh, they killed Renee Good, oh, she deserved it. This the same mind frame. But it's power now. The incremental power of being able to feel powerful by being with somebody who represents how they really feel. A pedophile, you know what I'm saying? It's pedophiles behind them. He's a pedophile. He's definitely them rape women. Don't care about women like that. He said it. It's been proven. These people like who voted for him, they are about that. They don't want to admit it, but they admit it. They just admit it by voting and by taking up for it. They're not gonna sit here and say, "Oh yeah, I'm against that." Yeah, they're gonna say I'm against that, but they're not going to act it with their vote, and that says way more than somebody just sitting back saying, "Yeah, I'm against it." But you voted for one, and you voted for someone who does these things. So, when it comes to the Civil War, when I studied it more and peeped it more, it made me understand America more and their people. And this is not everybody, you know, this is just a certain part of America which comes from this type of system of thinking, okay? Now, after the Civil War, you unleash a whole lot of human beings into you starting to grant citizenship to people who weren't citizens at first. So we're the first illegal immigrants per se. And you see how they treated us from that time all the way into the civil rights. So you already know that. That's just how people think. And I'm gonna give you some facts on this too. So, but before we get to the civil rights, it was another crisis that happened before that, and it was the Great Depression. And that was policy failure at scale. You know, and this got a lot to do with us. 48 laws in motion. Law 29. Plan all the way to the end. They did not use that law. Law 40. Despise the free lunch. You gotta, don't nothing for free. Law 24. Play the perfect 40 years. Okay, so speculation plus weak banking rules, tariff wars equals collapse. That's what happened with the Great Depression. Let me say that again. Speculation, weak banking rules, tariff wars, collapse. That's what that did. The depressions are built by policy, greed, and public trust. How so many people are trusting Donald Trump when you look at his career in actual business. I mean, I'm not even gonna go there. All right, so after depression, the next big move in America with the civil rights power shift forward. Civil rights power shift. Okay, 48 laws in motion in that is Law 6, court attention at all costs. That's what we was doing as citizens in this country. Black Americans and white Americans and more just showed how stupid people were over skin color. That they will beat, kill, hang over their disdain of a different people. That's what was happening and what made people have to change the law because this was really happening. And the only way that they're going to see that it's really happening and occur is if everybody sees. Even though motherfuckers in the state saw it and there was people in the state who was allowing it and doing it, we had to make it be seen worldwide to the point where not just the South and the North was judging America. People abroad was to show them how you really get down. So, federal power expanded to protect citizens with state resistance integration. Okay? Amendment 10, look it up. That's what they're practicing in Minneapolis. They don't, you can attack what they're doing, but it is in the Constitution. And I believe that Donald Trump is working to deconstruct the Constitution to just do stuff that he wants. And he got a bunch of AI Americans behind him, artificially intelligent. They think they know every sound bite and everything that the right has pushed into their head, and then they spew it back to us like they not doing the same thing you saying that other people are doing on the left. And it's the people on the left doing the same thing, but you're not winning doing it. You know what I'm saying? You're not winning doing it. They are winning doing that because they got a president who's utilizing it for just that. Okay? Again, AI Americans, artificially intelligent. Like, the person, the Kirk guy, artificially intelligent. He's saying shit that ain't, as far as talking about black people and DEI and all that, he was totally wrong. But you got a whole bunch of other people who has that pre-slavery and pre-civil rights acting mind frame that they don't get that every time you work for the people, it brings a better outcome than trying to separate people. But people don't know. All right. And this is now it's finna get to polarized at this point. Because this is where it all begins. You can have people on both sides say the same thing, and I heard it more off the Republican side, but they don't understand that there's shadows being shown when they say these type of things. Before Barack, they'll say that it was never about black and white. I guess they forgot about slavery or the Civil Rights Act before Barack. But these are just people projecting their insecurities on their president. So, Obama, symbolic power redefined. This is real good. Laws 32, play the people's fantasies. Law 43, work on hearts and minds. Law 46, never appear too perfect. And he had to do that. So they was really good. Doing Barack, hope for sun. Hope for sun. Spirit for others. Symbolic change. Triggered political backlash. Remember that. Okay? Barack is the reason Trump could come out and win off the racial tactics, because him winning, along with the civil rights actions and all that, some people don't want to see that, and that's just the hard truth you have to swallow. Some people don't want to see it, and my thing is, I would never understand why, because I never had that type of privilege to think like that. And that's just real. To have somebody get mad because you getting affirmative action or DEI or minority contracts, to have individuals mad at you because you, as an African American in a country that had a civil war over slavery, economically, not morally, economically. Power over power. You get to understand that these people, and the way people think, they just ain't, it's just not, they're on a whole different thing. That's why Malcolm, and I don't call all of them are not there, but the people who think like this, we call them devils, because they don't care about, look what the KKK is. Look at some of these people that I'm going to talk about when it comes to hold on, what's the point? Because I gotta say this. They don't care about those things. Now, there were governors from Alabama, Georgia, like Oval, Fathers, George Wallace, and Rose Barnett, who fought to maintain segregation, showing states can resist justice when prejudice holds power. These were governors of states that they didn't want black people to integrate. They wanted them to stay separate. Okay? So, this energy that you're feeling when it comes to, why these people would justify this, stop asking them. Okay? This is who these people are. You can't ask them things like, well, what if that was your wife? And I will assure you that it would be a different outlook if it was their people and it was the opposite party. It wouldn't be it wouldn't be no change. That's what they would say, but it would definitely be a change in it because you have to now feel it. It's your wife. So, these things you don't have to ask these people. What you need to explain to them is what the Constitution is and what side of the Constitution are you on. And that's it, because to be a true American citizen, you will want to abide by the Constitution unless it is not, it was amendments put in because the Constitution was excluded to certain people. So I'm gonna keep going on. So the Trump backlash becomes power. This is where Donald Trump is a genius. Law 6, court attention at all costs. Law 37, create compelling spectacle. Law 39, stir up waters to catch fish. Division became fuel. Spectacle became strategies. That's all he did. COVID crisis rewrites the economy. 48 laws in motion. Master order time. Law 29, playing all the way to the end. Law 40, expired free lunch. Supply chains broke. Government spent trillions. Prices rose. And many never came back down. That's y'all president. That's COVID under him. That was a depression. Okay, so when people saw that, they got a little nervous. Now they got to go back to the Democrats because he really dropped the ball. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to admit that he dropped the ball. You don't like to admit that he was lost. None of that. So when Biden get in, and just keep how this going, man. It's a pendulum swing. 48 laws in motion. Played the perfect courtier. Biden, I guess, but he was old, so people wanted to get him out. Law 5, guard your reputation, which he did. Law 30, make a consequence, being implemented. You see this president out there with the union and his diverse appointments, institutional terms. You know what I'm saying? He look him up. He created the most diverse appointments and people to his cabinet than any other president, including Barack Obama. That's what Joe Biden did in them 4 years. That's really why people were mad at him. He escorted a black African-American woman to the Supreme Judge, which was the first, along with some other companies. So, you see, they looked at Joe Biden as an extension of Barack Obama. Okay? January 6th. Let you know. Power resists transfer. Before they, law 15 again, crushing Henry totally. Law 42, strike the shelter. Law 33, a moment showing democracy is fragile when power refuses to consent. Okay? Are you hearing me? Okay, that's what January 6th was. People don't feel about it. But my final closing to y'all is why the system was built. 1776 until now, American story has always been about power. Who holds it? Who challenges it? Who pays when it's abused? When the founders declared independence, they didn't just break from a king. They rejected unchecked power. That's why leaders like George Washington and James Madison helped shape a constitution with 3 separate branches of government. The legislative branch to make the laws, the executive branch to enforce the laws, the judicial branch to interpret the law. Each branch was designed to check the other because the founders understood something clearly. power will always try to expand itself. History shows the tension never disappears. Under Andrew Jackson, executive authority stretched its limits. Under Andrew Jackson, executive authority stretched its limits. In modern times under Donald Trump, the presidency again tested institutional restraint. The system weakens when the checks are ignored and loyalty replaces the law, which is what's going on right now. Every depression, every conflict, every protest, every crisis we discuss started the same way. Power pushed too far, guardrails bent, people pay the price. The question remains, will the branches hold each other accountable? Or will power gather in one place until balance is lost? This country was not designed to be ruled by force or personality. It was designed to be governed by law, balance, and restraint. When balance isn't honored, the nation, consequences for them. When the balance is honored, the nation stabilizes. When it isn't, the consequences always come due. So, all I'm saying is, where you stand today when it comes to letting and voting and supporting a person who is clearly immoral and powerful, it just shows what you identify with. When half the country voted for a person who had 31 felonies, who got looked into, was about to be proven that he was, actually look at the evidence, show that he was trying to keep the election. Just dishonest. Known pedophile, known for hanging with a pedophile. Civil courts consider him a rapist. It just shows you where identity is now lying. Why they trying to think you look at certain things as if it's other people. You're cool with it when it comes to this guy. I mean, if you are cool with it, you just don't want to admit the shadows that you have in your mind. And that's what you are. You can see it plainly. You can't hide it. That's why I don't really argue with anybody to support something. Period. Because what you align with is what you identify with. This ain't logic. You identify with this guy. That's who you are. That's what you like. You don't gotta say it, but you can say it when you can see how many people be online going off on Barack, going off on, they're not president no more. They didn't kill, what's happening now? So, I'm gonna leave it at that. I just wanted to get that out, man. Hopefully I gave some people some good information, and if you don't like the information, I don't care. Because everything I said was going to happen, and I already know what the American people want to do. They're just going to let them do whatever they're going to do, and once it turns on them, then it might ring something in their head to turn it around. But until then, you can't, blind people, you can't really do nothing with them because they can't see until they can. So the rights that you allowing people to get took today will be yours tomorrow. And believe that. This ain't no revenge thing. This is just what your own actions want to do to yourself. So hopefully y'all get it together. But if you don't get it together, you don't have anything to do with it. Okay? So y'all have a great rest of your day. I'm Tweeter Don, your host. Always for the First Amendment. Shout out to all the supporters and people out there that's doing their job and not being afraid of being took down by old dictator Trump and his mega cult. Hopefully, people get up out of their range. One of their family members get kidnapped or killed. Hopefully, it sparks something to not let this happen. And my thing is for the Constitution or whatever needs to be done, start doing it now. And if you have somebody that's going up against Trump as president, it needs to start happening now. You need to start campaigning today. You need to be a thorn in his ass every year until it's time to run. I'm telling you right now, you need to fight fire with fire, but have a more moral outlook on what to do with America after he finished doing whatever the hell he did. Okay? Alright, I'm out of here, man. All love.
Stars steady falling, destiny calling. Remember the falling, remember the falling. Stars steady falling, destiny calling. Remember the falling, remember the falling.
I remember when it wasn't about hoes and thugs. Let's go back to the days when we was showing some love. Cause my city bigger than guns and drugs, and my city's bigger than shootings at clubs. Politicking with a chicken, that was the mission. Relaxing, just sipping, no policy hidden. Burdens were few, see cats with the kittens. When laws came around, then niggas got missing. It was ciphers going down, we parking lot pimping. Cars rolling up, drop the windows that's tinted. Daps and hugs, show mutual feelings. MCs all around, it was stiff competition. We progress, this hip-hop agenda. Those without bars, we return to sender. Nights at High Point, I clearly remember. Shout out to Luke Mine and DJ Finster. The culture took form, it looked like a blender. Patients were patronized, consumed by the splendor. Euphoric was the scene, everyone was contenders. When giants fell down, it kinda sound like timber. I remember when it wasn't about hoes and thugs. Let's go back to the days when we was showing some love. Cause my city bigger than guns and drugs, and my city's bigger than shootings at clubs. I remember when it wasn't about hoes and thugs. Let's go back to the days when we was showing some love. Cause my city bigger than guns and drugs, and my city's bigger than shootings at clubs. I remember chicken wing cookouts, needing no lookouts, food stamps. I was scared to pull the book out. DJ spinning, speakers still hitting. Old school cars with the souped up engine. Cardinal Glennon, chrome rim spinning. Clark Wallabies with your favorite linen. Hugging the block was usual things. And 2 for 15, I'm trying to get that cream. Before slime balls was slick and backdoor tricks. Someone deeper in the game and shit got thick. I chose to leave it in the game and switch my fix. Now I'm still here writing these hits. Hip hop is the shit. As I state my claim, by time these niggas notice the name, I'm daddy rich. I brought it back to the state, just hoping that these cats can relate. I remember when it wasn't about hoes and thugs. Let's go back to the days when we was showing some love. Cause my city bigger than guns and drugs, and my city's bigger than shootings at clubs. I remember when it wasn't about hoes and thugs. Let's go back to the days when we was showing some love. Cause my city bigger than guns and drugs, and my city's bigger than shootings at clubs. clubs.